something's going wrong. I'm missing something. I'm going to miss some part of the philosophy and I'm going to get kicked out. I'm going to bloop somehow or other. I'm going to displease the devotees. I'm out. I told him, I'm freaking out actually. And he said, chant and help others chant. That's it. That's our program. And then he sang Shastakam prayer, the whole thing, which Ananda did the other day, which is always fun. Maybe we can do it again, or no? Another time. More Gita. Great. Would you, Prabhu? Is it a nice segue? Ananda wants to read this Jaladuta prayers.
Thank you, Prabhu, for giving me this opportunity. So, I guess we can all hear because I have it on my phone, but... So, this is before, I'll just read the short excerpt. The spiritual master and the founder of the International Society of Krishna Conscious, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, is now engaging thousands of men and women in America throughout the world in the science of Bhakti Yoga, transcendental loving service to God. Prabhupada had no personal motive in first beginning ISKCON. He so vigorously preaches the philosophy of God consciousness simply because he has been ordered to do so by in the United States, $7. Following his arrival in the USA, Srila Prabhupada addresses the Supreme Lord Krishna, asking him his purpose in sending his servant to America. The translation from Bengali was done by Srila Prabhupada himself. My dear Lord Krishna, you are so kind. I do not know how you have brought me here. Now you can do whatever you like. I guess that you have some purpose, some business here. Otherwise, why should you call me to this demoniac place? Most of the population here is covered by the nature's modes of ignorance and passion. And I do not know how they will be able to understand the transcendental message of Vasudeva. But I know that your causeless mercy can make everything possible because you are the most expert mystic. Therefore, I am simply praying for your mercy so that I can be able to convince them about your message. All living entities have come under the control of the illusory energy by your will. And therefore, if you like, by your will, they can also be released from the clutches of illusion. If you so desire, I wish that you may deliver them. Just by your desire, they will be able to understand your message. The words of Srimad Bhagavatam are your incarnation. And if they receive them in submissive oral reception repeatedly, then will they be able to understand your message. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st Canto, 2nd chapter, verses 17 through 21, it is said, for anyone who gives oral reception to the always auspicious transcendental messages about you, by hearing and special relish, thus remaining within his heart, you clear up all inauspicious understanding. When such inauspicious understanding is almost cleared up, a person realizes the importance of devotional service. In that stage of understanding, the influence of the modes of ignorance and passion becomes almost nil, and the resultant action of passion and ignorance can no more attack the heart. Thus he becomes joyful, being situated on the platform of goodness. When by dint of devotional service, he thus becomes jubilant, due to awakening the modes of goodness, he becomes liberated from material contamination and is able to understand the science of God. In this stage of liberation, all misgivings in the heart, or the bondage of the material network, becomes cut to pieces. And by the science of God, he is elevated from all sorts of doubts. At this stage, the result of past activities become vanquished because his realization of the Supreme Lord. This is the process of becoming liberated from the influence of the modes of ignorance and passion, and thus they can become freed from all inauspicious things accumulated in the heart. Because I am very unfortunate, unqualified, and the most fallen. I am therefore seeking your benediction so that I may be able to convince them about this Krishna conscious. Somehow or other, you have brought me here to speak about you. Now it is up to you to make me a success or failure as you like. You are the Lord of the whole creation. So if you like, you can make my power to speak suitable so that they can understand. By your causeless mercy, only my words may become transcendently pure. And I am sure when such transcendental message penetrates their hearts, certainly they will feel gladdened and thus become liberated from all unhappy conditions of life. I am just like a puppet in your hands. You have brought me here, and now you can make me dance as you like. I have no devotion, nor do I have any knowledge, but still I have been designated Bhaktivedanta. Now, if you like, you can just fulfill the real purport of Bhaktivedanta, the most unfortunate, insignificant beggar, Bhaktivedanta Swami, on board the Jaladuta ship, Commonwealth Pier, Boston, Massachusetts, September 18th, September 1965. But today's the 16th, but this is the Vedic calendar here. So, Hare Krishna.
So Prabhupada is showing us the way, showing us how to take shelter of the holy name and take shelter of the Bhagavatam and take shelter of this preaching mission of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And in that way, we can help others attain the Supreme, and our attaining the Supreme will be guaranteed. So, actually, this prayer, I had this SSR for many years actually before I read it, and one of the things I also found, well, one of the things that I liked about the SSR was the Super Soul. I liked the blue. I thought it was nice. This blue person, and I used to draw that Super Soul. I would make some drawings, and then they were not good, but I would draw that little person with 4 arms in the heart. That was a type of I was attracted to that idea. He was in there, That was all I got. I didn't read it. I just got that. Then the other thing, sometimes I'd flip the book over, and I had a big stack of books, which actually shows that I'm actually unintelligent. Because actually you just need a few, right? You just need a few books and able to quote them when required. But that's enough. So I had this big stack of books, and at the top I put SSR. That was what the book I like to see at the top. And like I said, it was many years. So I had different places where I kept this stack of books, but I always had it there somewhere in different apartments or whatever. And I like to have SSR there. So sometimes Prabhupada would be there and I'd see him, and he had this chandan on his forehead and he was going like this or something. It was like, I don't know how to describe it. It was it was universal, the personality, but I never took it seriously, so I never read it. But when I finally decided to read the book, I turned to these prayers. And that was really what did it. I said, oh, this is him? This is that guy that I've been looking at? He wrote these prayers, he wrote this book. So, and whenever he presented this mood, full surrender, full humility, then I understood, okay, maybe I should take it a little seriously. And, it wasn't a fast process for me because I'm very dull, but that was a big part, these prayers. And I always, I always remember that that was really, these prayers, Jaluta prayers, or these Markim Bhagavad Dharma, these prayers were really what kind of shook me up in a big way. So he prays in the prayers, by your mercy, will my words have that purity, that purity to change their hearts. And by the mercy of Krishna and all the previous acharyas, and then Prabhupada's words do, and they still do. And anybody who reads these books, they have an opportunity to experience that mercy. They get that mercy, but it's just up to us whether we're going to pick it up or not. But even if we read even one word of these books, that's our eternal benefit. So the more and more we can spread Srila Prabhupada's transcendental literature, that'll be for everyone. And it's so wonderful that there's so many devotees here. They're fired up for book distribution, and it's very inspiring to me. And let us continue. Everybody should have these books. Why not? So many other things there. These things are what's going to really help people. Why shouldn't we ask every person, please take one book? That's what we do. We give these books. You can give a donation to us. Why don't you take? Why not? So, maybe devotees can share some things. You should come up with it. Well, I wasn't very dialed in today, so.
Well, just today I was in the Srimad Bhagavatam, I was reading the passing away of Bhishmadev, and after speaking philosophy to the Pandavas, he stops the actions of all of his senses and he focuses his wide open eyes on Krishna, who's right there before him. And then in the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes this string of verses that we just went through, except for maybe the last one or two, but this exact starting with, he who meditates on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, his mind constantly engaged in remembering me, undeviated from the path, he, O Partha, Arjuna, is sure to reach me. And then the rest of them. So it's kind of nice to think about that while we're going through them.
Jai. Bhakti Jacob Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thanks for your nice class. I just want to share an appreciation for your story you shared about your journey to Krishna consciousness. These are so necessary. Anyway, they give me strength to keep distributing the books, even though maybe I sometimes doubt their power, but they indeed do have power. So it's like really, it's reassuring to hear your story. And I know every one of us have a story with Srila Prabhupada's books to share. So anyway, thank you.
Jai. Yeah, actually, we're trying to get, more or less we do things because we have taste or some appreciation. And so that's the start, that's described by, the acharyas. Oh, maybe there's a comment now.
Hare Krishna, it's your servant Mathuranath Das. Thanks for the class, Magadhari Prabhu. I just wanted to comment. I really too liked the story you shared about the Jaladuta prayers. And I was wondering if you remembered, before I came to RBC, I would be on Zoom sometimes, and I would often go to one of the local Hindu temples, and you and I would chant over Zoom. And I remember circumambulating the temple room, and after every round, I would read one of these Jaladuta prayers out of the SSR over Zoom with you and I chanting. So this just reminded me of that, and this too is one of the things that really moved me and inspired me to take up Krishna consciousness full time. Thanks, Prabhu.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu. The prayers are very potent. And actually, I know some devotees, they like to read these before they go preaching to get that right mood. Ananda Prabhu?
Hare Krishna. Yeah, I was for the first, I think, 3 months or 6 months on book distribution because I had a different. I joined and then they threw me out onto the Sankirtan van. That was my first. That was my bhakta training. So I couldn't do books unless I read this prayer. Like I didn't want to do it. I couldn't step out of the van. I didn't want to talk to anybody. But as soon as I read this, I was like, all right, I got to do it. That was the only way I could do books for like 3 months. I couldn't talk to a single person without reading this. So yeah, I was one of those persons who read it every day. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So, this is interesting, you know, because the like Maturna shared that, you know, there was some taste for this prayer, you know, that kept him going. Ananda Prabhu as well. Myself, I also had a little spark of appreciation for these prayers or for Prabhupada or for this movement or for Hare Krishna in general. And so that's the start of the process, Shraddha, that if we can just appreciate the devotees or we can appreciate something, then that's it. And one thing that I like to think about in this is that, you know, Prabhupada, he came here with his books, and they're voluminous. Hardly we can even find the time to read all these books. Of course, we make time. But Prabhupada says, I try it myself. Anywhere you open any of these books, you will find, you know, top class reading material. You know, it's good. This is good content. What is here in these books? He said, any page you actually open, you can find the quote. Of course, he says it. But I did it. I didn't want to read the whole thing, but I just opened it. I read that. I said, oh, great. I like it. I'm in. You know, of course, it wasn't just that easy, but, you know, that's the mercy of Prabhupada and, you know, this transcendental order. They've sent these books as they are for us to get some attraction back to that spiritual world. And Krishna's calling, you know, so let us answer the call, chant Hare Krishna, share Hare Krishna with everybody, appreciate the devotees more and more, and trust Srila Prabhupada, and we'll also attain the Supreme. So, Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, all glories to the assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Rama, Rama.